Hello and welcome to another podcast episode. Thank you very much to all those who watched my Tuesday video this week, which was on YarnAddict. Did a little bit of a YarnAddict vlog, a little bit from the setup because I forgot to film, and then walk around the show on a Sunday morning. And what I was knitting or I was away, I think, I can't remember. Edited it all and put it out on Tuesday, and I can't remember what I actually put out. But we're back with a podcast today. I'm going to talk about what I've been knitting while I was away, and since I've been home, I got some yarn that arrived since I got home because I was going to buy it at Yarndale and I forgot. And maybe a couple other things. We'll see what we get time for. I also have a special offer on my website, which I've just nearly finished updating. I got a bit more to do this afternoon, and then so it'll be live before this video goes out. And I do have a special offer, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website, YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So we went to Yarndale last weekend. I filmed earlier last week. I filmed on Tuesday, and then we left on the Wednesday. Had a really lovely time up in Yorkshire with our friends. We actually stayed in Lancashire. They're right on the Lancashire, North Yorkshire, Cumbria border. We had a lovely day out of Firefield Mill, and I did share in Tuesday's video that I purchased this woven notebook cover with a notebook in it from a lovely lady. Notebooks removable, so you can put a new notebook in. Purchased that from a lovely lady. Her business is called Whiteside Woven at Firefield Mill. If you're in that area, Firefield Mill is really good. On the top floor, they have a lot of looms and things. There's loads of studios there. And when we've been there before, we haven't seen anyone weaving or anyone working in there. There were quite a few people working in the studios, and there were volunteer weavers as well. So I really enjoyed it. They also have a really good gallery shop there. So I really enjoyed it. And then we had a couple of days out. So I'll talk more about that in the vlog that was out on Tuesday. This month is Vlogtober, so I'm doing Vlogtober videos. This week, there was the first Vlogtober video was on Tuesday. Then there's a podcast today, and then there'll be a Vlogtober video on Sunday. And again next Tuesday. I think there's going to be a podcast next week. Basically, we're going to Lisbon in the middle of next week for a week. If I have time to film the podcast on Tuesday, there'll be a podcast next week on Friday as normal, but I have a couple of deadlines that I need to do before we leave, so I may or may not have time to film the podcast. We'll see. But podcast this week, and then after that we'll see what happens. Before we talk about what I've been knitting and special from my website, let's just go through a couple of things that are coming up. Sunday 19th of October, I'm going to be at the Brixham Sewing Box in South Devon for Brioche Basics, so learn how to knit two-colour brioche. And then when I get back from Norway at the beginning of November, I'm teaching finishing techniques at the Knitting Hotel on the 8th of November. That might be full. It's a weekend retreat, and I just turn up and teach on the Saturday. It may be full. There may be day places left. Contact Linda. Her website is below. Then on the 11th of November, I'm teaching finishing techniques at Spinning Yarn in Bobby Tracy in Devon. And then later that week, I'm going to be in Warrington for Black Sheep Wools. That's fully booked. And then the week after that, 21st, 22nd, 23rd of November, I'm going to Harrogate, teaching loads of different workshops on Mobius cast on and Mobius cowl, continental knitting, mitred squares, knitting in the round, knitting a skinny eyelet scarf, seaming knitted fabric, and mosaic knitting. And then I'm back at the sewing box again on the 30th November in Brixham for a Fair Isle colour clutch workshop. So my colour clutch workshop in November. So all those places are linked below. The workshops I have at Spinning Yarn and at the sewing box in Brixham are listed below together with their website, so contact those shops to book. So before we talk about what I've been knitting, I'm going to do 20% off my website because I ordered way too much stock for YarnAddict. YarnAddict was really good, but I always have a lot of yarn left over from yarn shows because I always order way too much. So, and because I struggle for space in here, I'm actually managed to pack everything away now, and it's not as out of control as I thought it would be. You can see the yarn behind me has changed a bit. I decided to put all my, well, most of those are all Yachigan merino cotton and up there, and then those are, I think they are, those are a Symphony, Viva and Terra, I think, and Mons Uruguay Alexia, I think. So I rearranged things a little bit just to see if it works better. And I have loads of yarn on the website, loads of notions and beads. It's all been counted. I've just got to finish updating my website today on the day I'm filming this. So it'll be back open by the time this video goes live. And because I'm going to be away again quite a lot this month, my website will be open until Tuesday, 7th of October at midday UK time. So if you'd like to place an order before then, please do. I'm going to offer 20% off everything on my website. So yarn, my books, beads, notions, the clutch frame kits which have the clutch frame in them and the felt for the lining. And I also have some clutch frames left for the Color Clutch, Glamour Clutch and Brioche Clutch. Don't have any clutch frames for the Festival Clutch because they're a bit smaller. 20% off all that on my website, and I'll put the code on the screen because I haven't done that yet on my website, so I'll put that on the screen. I'll also put all the details below, and they'll be in the newsletter, which will go out the same time as this video goes live. And 20% off until midday, 12 noon UK time on the Tuesday, 7th of October. And then my website will be closed for a week because I'm going to be away, and then it'll be open for a week, and then I'm closing it again till end of the first week in November because I'm going to Norway. So if you fancy a bit of yarn, a bit of treat. Now obviously the problem is I'm still not shipping to the US because I haven't had time to get my head around the tariff situation. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it before Christmas because I got so much on. I don't ship a lot to the States anyway, so it's just not, I was going to say, I don't want to say it's not worth my while doing, but I can't spend that much time trying to sort it out till January when I have a bit more time, hopefully. So apologies if you live in the US. You can still buy my patterns and my online courses, and also countries in the EU and Northern Ireland, because the rules are shipping to the EU and Northern Ireland now. Northern Ireland, if there's part of Britain, it's the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So they're not part of Great Britain, they're part of the UK, technically. But because of Brexit, they count in terms of shipping as an EU country, I guess. And there are different rules, and I haven't got my head around those rules either. So basically, I'll ship within the UK and the rest of the world, but not the US. So if you live in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, I think I can still ship to you. But anyway, so 20% off till Tuesday. So let's talk about what I've been knitting. Let's have a look and see what's in these bags here. Right, let's talk about the first project, which I haven't been working on. I'm actually thinking about ripping this out and starting again. So I decided last week I would cast on a pair of socks and take with me. This is a Cyberball Static 6, which is a 6-ply yarn, so like a light DK sport weight yarn. I'm knitting socks on 6.5 millimeter. No, I'm not knitting on 6.5 millimeter. That'd be crazy. I'm knitting on 3.5 millimeter needles, which is US 4. And I don't know why I decided to go top down, but I'm actually thinking I might rip it out and start toe up. But also I may take this to Portugal with me, but I don't think I will. So I probably won't work on this till I go to Portugal. I don't know, maybe I'll work on it on the way to Norway. I don't know, I haven't thought about what I'm taking with me to Norway yet, but I probably will end up ripping that out and restarting it and doing toe up. We did talk about possibly going to the cinema on Sunday. So if you do, because I really want to see the Downton Abbey movie. I thought the previous two Downton Abbey movies, the first one I thought was really bad. I watched part of it on telly a couple of weeks ago because it was on one of the TV channels, and I watched like probably 80% of it, and I think it's really bad. Second film I enjoyed more. I thought it was better. So I'm a little bit dubious about this film, but I do fancy seeing it because I've seen every single episode of all the series and the first two films, and this Sunday is probably my last chance to go and see it. It may be on when I go to Norway, but I doubt it. I don't know how popular Downton Abbey was in Norway. So I said to Sam, if it's on when I go to Norway, I can watch it in Norway, go to cinema on my own. I did that last time. But I don't think it's going to be on because that won't be till towards the end of November, last 10 days of November, not November, October. So I don't think it'll be on still. So we did talk about going on Sunday, but I'm teaching Friday and Saturday. So I'll see how tired I am on Sunday. So if I go to the cinema, then I probably cast these on again from the toe up and then do an afterthought heel so I can just knit straight up. And that should hopefully be enough to knit on during the film. I have done a bit of sock knitting though. So I have done a bit of sock knitting. I was at last week, I think I was at this point because I put that marker is still there. I've just put the ball of yarn that I had left over. When I finished this sock, I finished on a tiny bit of blue. I was hoping to finish on the green. There's a tiny bit of blue there. And I wanted to start on that green because I want to try and make them matching. So I'm planning to put the afterthought heel in the middle of here where I put that marker in. So I wound off the yarn, the leftover yarn, till I got to the green bit again. So that is here. So I just stuck it inside the sock and then I'll use that to do the afterthought heel whenever I have time to do that. I will do, because normally I put in a waist yarn where I do the afterthought heel, and then it's fairly quick and easy to do, but I haven't done that for this, and I also want to film it as a tutorial. So I put a marker in where I wanted to go, and I will hopefully get around to doing that between Portugal and Norway. But I did start the second sock, and I've actually knitted quite a bit on this, I think. So the problem was I wanted to start with the same green colour, but I didn't think I'd use the whole green colour. So if you look here, whole green repeat, that's how long it is. And obviously my cuff isn't that long. So I was trying to, I can't remember how I did it. I think I worked out how many rounds that was, or the rib may take slightly more yarn than stocking stitch, and then I tried to wind off the correct amount of yarn. And I think I got it pretty, well, maybe not completely spot on, but I think I did quite well. Oh yeah, it is pretty much more or less spot on. Let's have a look. That's a pretty good match. I'm really pleased with that. That's a really good match. So I was knitting on this. I took this with me to the show. I was going to take my sweater to the show, but I thought this is easier because it's smaller. I've got this hook on Amazon. Before I went to Norway in July, I watched loads of videos on YouTube on packing and hand luggage only. I'm obsessed with it. And somebody I watch regularly, I think, suggested this, and I ordered it from Amazon, thinking, do I need it? And I find it really useful because I can just hook this onto any kind of table edging. So when I flew to Norway last time in the departure lounge, I just hooked it onto the table in front of me, and then I didn't have to worry about my bag rolling around the floor. And I used that at the Yarndale. I hooked it onto the table next to where my chair was, and then I picked up my knitting whenever it was quiet. So I cast these on before Yarndale, and I think I did most of the rib, at least the green part of the rib. But I don't think I finished the rib. And then I knitted all that. I can't remember if I knitted a bit on it in the car on the way home on Monday. Don't think I did. I think I only knitted on it at the show. So I got quite a lot of knitting done. I took it out with me a couple of times when we were with our friends up in Lancashire, but I don't think I actually knitted on it. I can't remember. We only really went to one coffee shop, I think, on the Thursday, and I don't think I got my knitting out. And we went out for a pub meal, but I didn't take my knitting at all for that. So I would like to finish these socks before I go to Portugal, but I have other things I need to knit because I have deadlines. So I don't know if I'm going to get it finished. I'm going to take it with me this weekend. I'm teaching at the knitting hotel tomorrow, and I'm staying the night there, not at the knitting hotel, but at a guest house just on the road. And on Friday night, they normally go to Exeter on the train and have a meal at the Ivy in Exeter. And so I should have, I think the train's like half an hour. So I'm going to take this with me because we're all knitters, and most of us, I think, will take our knitting with us. So I can knit on this on the train, and then I might be able to finish it. I don't know. So because it's a small project and it easily fit in my handbag, I'll take that on the train. But I'd like to finish up before we go to Portugal. I haven't decided 100% yet what knitting I'm going to take with me to Portugal. I was going to talk about it today, but because I am in a bit of a hurry because I need to finish updating my website, I'm not going to talk about it today. I'm going to leave it till Tuesday because I'm filming this on a Thursday. And if I'm going to film a podcast next week, I have to do it on Tuesday. So I'm not going to get a ton of knitting done between now and Tuesday because I'm also teaching for 2 days. I have cast on a new project though to work on in the workshop tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, because it's not a very teaching intensive workshop for me. There's a lot of time with the guests just knitting. So I've cast on a project for the workshop that's related to the workshop. So basically I've cast on another clutch bag, a new design. I had an idea over the weekend. I quickly knitted a swatch last night. Then I ripped the swatch out and cast on. So I'm working on the base of the clutch bag at the moment. It is going to have beads, but it's very different from the other ones I've done, I think. I haven't actually swatched it with beads. So I'd like to finish the base today and knit the first repeat of the pattern, just so I can check that I'm happy with the beads. And then I can take that with me tomorrow. And if I get any chance in the class tomorrow and Saturday, I might be able to work a little bit on that. But because it has beads, I don't want to take that with me and work on it on the train to Exeter. And I may also, when I come back from Exeter tomorrow evening, after we've been after the meal, I'll probably go straight back to my guest house because it's right next to the train station. Whereas the knitting hotel is just a short walk up the hill. So because I don't want to be really late because I'm teaching the next day, I'll probably go back to my hotel room and relax for a bit and do a bit of knitting before I go to bed. And then I'll probably also get a bit of knitting done because I tend to wake up early before I go back up to the knitting hotel for breakfast on Saturday. So it's a project I really like to finish, the clutch bag, before I go to Portugal. But I have 2 deadlines that are due while I'm away. So I want to finish them before I go. One of them, my sample knitter knitted, and she actually sent it back last week. But I just didn't have time to even look at it. And I kind of forgot about it. And yesterday I was like, oh, got to do this thing. So I unpacked it yesterday. All I got to do is knit a neckline. I was going to do that last night and block it last night, but I didn't manage to finish it because I got distracted by this clutch bag idea. So when I go downstairs and have a break later this afternoon, I need to pick it up and finish the neckline. I think I just got like a round left to do maybe on the cast off. No, I actually finished the neckline. I was weaving in the ends. That's what I was doing. So I need to finish weaving in the ends. I won't be able to block it straight away because my father-in-law is coming for dinner tonight. So we use the dining room table, which is where I block things. So I'm going to wait till we've had dinner. And then after dinner, I'll block it. And then it'll probably just stay on the dining room table till I come home Saturday night. And if Simon needs the table, he can take it off and hang it on my dress form. And then I also have another deadline before I go away. And that's a small project, a small accessory. It's not a wearable accessory. And I think I'm just over halfway through it. And I didn't take it with me when I went away. I wish I kind of had done that so I could finish it while I was away. But I didn't take it with me. And I forgot about it till yesterday morning, or was it Tuesday? Suddenly remembered it, and I was like, oh, could have finished that. So I did a little bit. I think it might have been Tuesday evening. I went around to see a friend yesterday, and I probably stayed there for like 2.5 hours. And I knitted the whole way through. Well, you kind of knit a bit, and then you stop knitting because you're talking, and then you knit a bit more. So I don't get as much knitting done, but I was thinking about taking that deadline project because it would have been fairly easy to do But instead I took my sweater, which I'm kind of regretting now because I really need to finish that deadline project. So today I'm going to finish the first deadline project where I just need to weave in the ends and block that tonight. Then I'm going to work on the base for the clutch bag and do the first repeat of the pattern repeat. And then if I have any more knitting time, I'm going to spend it on the deadline project that I'm knitting. And then I'll take the clutch bag, the new clutch bag, and the socks with me for the knitting hotel. And then when I get home on Saturday, I will carry on with that deadline project. So I'd like to finish it by Monday because I need set aside time on Monday and Tuesday to actually write the pattern. And I want to go to the gym on Monday as well. I was supposed to go to the gym today, but I didn't because I need to get the website sorted. So I decided not to go to the gym today. The other project I've been working on is my sweater. I can't remember how far I got last week. I think I just joined after the I think I finished the top bit and I just joined in the round. So I was going to put this on, but I haven't put it on a piece of ravel cord. What's the time? Have I got time to do that? Yeah, let's quickly do that now while I'm talking. So I haven't tried it on. I tried it on just after I got below the bust and I thought it was okay. It will also relax a little bit when I block it. But let's just slide some of these stitches off onto the ravel cord. Then I can try it on quickly. I was going to do it when I go home, but I haven't gotten around to it. I worked on this all the way home in the car on the way to Yorkshire. And this is, or just looking down, I'm just sliding these stitches on here. I worked on it in the car on the way up to Yorkshire or Lancashire, and Sam did most of the driving. I think I did a couple hours. And then while we were at our friends, I worked on it in the evenings. Didn't take the Yarndale with me because I thought it's a little bit big. Sometimes I need, just kind of, if I'm sitting there knitting and somebody customer comes, I just drop it. And this, I would need to make sure I put it back in the bag and everything. Whereas my socks, I just basically dropped, chucked them in the corner under the table or something. It's not, it's socks. It's not a big deal. Whereas I wouldn't want to do that with the sweater. So I knitted on it quite a lot. I've done, I don't know how many centimeters I've done. I've done quite a bit. We'll measure it in a minute. And on the way home, I knitted on it in the car when I wasn't asleep. So my friends live about probably like 15 minutes from the motorway, from the M6. So as soon as we got on the M6, I fell asleep and slept for, I don't know, probably an hour or so. And then it was our wedding anniversary while we were at Yarndale on Sunday. So on the way home on Monday, even though I was really tired and I kind of wanted to just get home, but we stopped at a place in Worcestershire. Talk about this in the vlog on Tuesday. And we stopped at the English heritage place called Whitley Court. It's really nice, especially in the summer. I think it's the third time we've been there. And on about 5 minutes away, there's a really lovely pub called the Holt Fleet. And we stopped there for lunch. We went there for lunch for our 25th wedding anniversary, which was on the day we were driving home from Yarndale. So we've been there before, and we stopped there for lunch, went to Whitley Court, had a lovely time, and then drove home. And I drove a little bit at some point. It wasn't very long. I think I drove from Whitley Court for like an hour maybe, and then I slept for a bit again. So I didn't get a lot of knitting done on the way home because I was really, really tired. Right, let's see. I put one thingamajig on. So I think I'm going to have to do the other one as well because I don't think the needle is long enough to slide it on without losing stitches, which I don't want to do. I also have a magazine design to show you. I just actually looked at my phone because the magazine arrived yesterday, but I wasn't sure when it was out and whether I could share it yet. I may try and do next week a video on the actual design I have in this magazine. I filmed a bit before I sent the sample off. I filmed a bit on the sample. So I just need to film like 10 minutes talking about the actual magazine. So depending on what time I finish doing this, might do that and might go out as a bonus video at some point next week. Or instead of the podcast on Friday if I get really busy. I don't know. It's because of not Vlogmas, because of Vlogtober, it's kind of more difficult to fit things in. Right, let's see if the first time I slid this onto a ravel cord. Is it called ravel cord? No, it's not called barber cord. That's what it's called. I found it really easy, and they slid on really easily, but I've obviously knitted a bit tighter. Let's see if I put enough on. No, I'm going to do a bit more because I don't want stitches popping off my knitting needles when I try it on. So we'll just do a bit more. Okay, I've done it. I'd like to finish this before we go to Portugal, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not taking this to Portugal with me because it's too big. Simon and I are sharing a carry-on suitcase, and then I'm taking my big backpack, which is a little bit smaller than the EasyJet maximum size for personal item bag. So I need to decide what knitting to take with me, but I'm not taking this because it'll be too big. And it looks like it's going to be fairly warm, like sort of mid-20s maybe. So I think that's going to be too warm as well. So let me just take my mic off and try to put this on, and then we'll have a look at what the fit looks like. I'm really pleased with this because I made it slightly smaller than the cotton one. So this is the same one as the cotton one I made last year in the summer. It's a pink one. You've probably seen me wear it recently. But the pink one was quite big on me, so I made this a little bit smaller. I think I have 20 stitches less overall. It's 4-ply yarn on 3.5mm needles, so the stitches are fairly small. So, but I was a little bit worried that it might be too tight, but it's fine. There's plenty of room around my bust and around my middle. It will relax a bit and even out, but you can see now it looks a bit uneven. That'll even out when I block it, and it probably will relax a bit when I block it as well. So I'm down probably about halfway down the body. I'm kind of about that far, 5 centimeters above my belly button. I don't know how long I want it, but a bit more than that obviously because I don't want it to be a crop top. So I'm really pleased with that. I'd like to finish the body before I go to Portugal, but I'm not that bothered because I'm not going to take it with me. I would like to finish it before I go to Norway so I can cast on something new and not worry about it. I don't know if I'll take it to Norway with me yet. We'll see what the temperatures are like and stuff. And but I would like to finish it before I go to Norway so that it's done. But we'll see how we get on with that. So let me just take it off because it's really hot in here, and this, even though it's thin, it's still wool, so it feels quite warm. If you can hear any noise, I've opened the window because it's quite sunny and it's the afternoon, so the sun's shining in here and it's getting quite warm in here. I'm starting to sweat a little bit, so I opened the window. So if you can hear, I can hear somebody's cutting their grass, but hopefully I'm using a mic, you won't be able to hear it. So I'm really happy with how that project is going. Really easy knitting while we're away, just stocking stitching around. Like I said, I'd like to finish it before we go to Portugal. I haven't actually graded the sleeves yet. So depending on how much I get done of this, I don't think I'm going to get done anything until like Sunday. Actually, if you go to the cinema on Sunday, I probably should just take that because I get low sun on the body in the cinema, wouldn't I? Rather than a pair of socks. So my goal is before we go away is to finish that and finish the stripy socks. Okay, let's have a quick look at the knitter because I have a design in the new issue of the knitter, which is issue 220, which is in the shops, I think, from today. And I have a design this issue. I'm going to try and do a more in-depth video on this next week if I get time, but I'm kind of running out of time now before I go away. It's a poncho, lovely poncho. It's called Petersham, and it's all over lace, quite a simple-ish lace pattern, and it's knitted in I can't remember what yarn I used now. Oh, it's King Cole Luxury Yak DK. King Cole Luxury Yak is 85% merino wool, 15% yak. It's lovely to knit with. I've used it a few times now. One of my sample knitters knitted this, but I have done swatching and stuff with it. And this is basically just knitted flat as a rectangle. So if you don't want a poncho, you could just not sew it together and use it as a shawl. But it's knitted flat, and then you just seam it to the top of the sleeve and pull it over your head. So it creates like an asymmetrical shape. Let me see if I can show you any other pictures without showing you the actual pattern. So that's what it looks like on. So really nice. DK yarn, nice to throw over if you're a bit chilly. You can easily, it does come in 3 sizes with a short, medium and long version. there's quite a lot of scope for creating length and width and all the rest of it. This is in the knitter. It's in the shops now. Issue 220, and there might be a video on this next week. There may not. We'll see how we get on, because things are busy around here at the moment. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about before we finish today is parcel that arrived. So somebody came around on my stall on one of the days, I think it was the Sunday, and showed me a clutch frame that she got, and I was like, oh, I like that. And that's also part of the reason why I cast on for a new clutch bag. And it's from Mommy and Florrie, and I was going to pop around there to have a look, and then I forgot about it. So when we got home, I looked, I think it was actually Monday evening, I looked on their website, and they're clearly a lot more organized than me, because their website was already back up and running. So I ordered a clutch frame rather. So let me just, I'm always a bit worried about using scissors to cut off the yarn parcels in case I actually cut the yarn by accident. So let's just take all this out. So Mommy and Florrie, I haven't bought anything from them before. I keep looking at them when they've been to the shows I've been at, which I think might be just be YarnAddict last year and maybe Unravel, I can't remember. But they look really nice. Their yarn's really colourful. So it's got a thing here to use to attach the fabric. So somebody, I can't remember who it was, who came to my stall and showed me this. And it's a black clutch frame. And it's very different from the clutch frames that I use. But I've seen this in similar ones. And I knew that Mommy and Florrie had some different ones. And I thought, I fancy looking at those. It's magnetic closing. And then it's got these little, I've been wanting to do a clutch bag that I can use as a crossbody bag. And it's got these little hooks on it that you can tuck in. So you can either have, hang on, let me just tuck and flip them both inside. So you can see they stick up a little bit. And then you just flip them up. And then you can attach a chain or something to that. So apparently to attach your fabric to this, there are instructions with it, but apparently there's some screws that are in here, and you put the fabric in and screw it in. But there is a little thing with the screws, and then it says how to attach your wooden frame to bag, scan QR code for tutorial. So that's really, really good. So I'm gonna actually keep one of these paper bags and put it in here so I don't lose it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes when I finish making the clutch fabric. So let's look at the other thing I got. I was hoping it would be, oh no, it's not quite the same. Okay, sorry. So I had a look at their yarn, and they do a lot of very bright colorways. And now that the Discreet Unicorn is closing down, I shared the last yarn I got from her the other week. I got this lovely yarn and a bright pink 50-gram ball of yarn. Mommy and Florrie is a good alternative, I think, because she also does really bright colorways. So I got this one. This yarn is the Oklahoma Manchester, it says. This other colorway, Oklahoma Manchester, I'm not sure. It's the Merino Slub 4-ply, 90% merino, 10% nylon. And it's like a sort of, that's difficult with this colorway, but you can see the texture. It's like a boucle slub yarn. And it's 4-ply, 400 meters, 100 grams. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I was kind of hoping it might be the same as this yarn, but it's not. This is just a boucle. This is a boucle slub yarn. But I contacted Miriam of Discreet Unicorn to see if she had any of this hiding away, and she doesn't. Because I really wanted to do a sweater in this. But I was thinking I can mix these two and just get some other yarns to mix in. I don't know. We'll see. But I really like that. I might see if they have some more of that and maybe get another ball or two and then mix it in with this. I probably need, depending on what needle size and stuff I do, I may need 3 or 4. I don't know. But I really like that colorway. So that was just a bit of an impulse buy. And because I didn't buy anything at YarnAddict, I thought, well, I can treat myself. So I decided to treat myself. Because why not? I felt a bit bad not buying anything at YarnAddict. I just didn't get around to looking around. It got quite a bit. YarnAddict, last few years have been a bit topsy-turvy. It's been really, really quiet in the mornings. Like on Saturday, we barely saw a person for the first hour, and I don't think we made a sale till after midday. First hour is always quiet, as people usually just do like a round, but it felt really quiet this time. And Sunday I was off teaching first thing, so I don't know how quiet it was, but there wasn't a lot of sales coming through. I think there were more than there were on Saturday, but the afternoons were really busy. Sunday afternoon was a bit quieter, and I was going to have a quick look around on Sunday afternoon, but it got busy towards the end again, so I just didn't get around to it. And then I thought, well, I probably shouldn't buy any yarn anyway. But then I had major FOMO on the way home. I thought I really want that clutch frame. So I went online and ordered it. This podcast is actually a lot longer than I thought it would be. I need to hurry up and edit it and upload it and finish updating my website. Website will be open when this video is live. And don't forget, 20% off. I'll put the code on the screen and in the description below. So just go below this video and click show more, I think, or more, more or something. And it'll open up, and go to YarnAddict.co.uk and spend your 20% off. I will not be shipping any parcels until Monday because I'm away all day Friday and Saturday. So I'll ship parcels on Monday and Tuesday, and then my website will close for a week. So the 20% off is only valid until midday on Tuesday. Then my website will be closed for a week, and then I'll reopen it again when I come back from Portugal. Then it'll close again a week later when I go to Norway. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Loads of new subscribers since Yarndale. The Yarndale vlog got loads of views, a lot more views than normal. And I've had quite a few new subscribers since. So if you joined me this week, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll stick around. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, then please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to turn your notifications on. But I would really love it if you'd subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know if you came to Yarndale. Loads of you told me that you were watching the YouTube channel, so I really appreciate that. So say hello in the comments and let me know what you thought of Yarndale if you were there. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.